What's going on, guys? We are back here with another live stream of Down the Rabbit Hole. It has been a crazy week this week. I got back to work, which was nice. I have this spot on my glasses I cannot get rid of right now. It's driving me nuts. I should really take care of these things ahead of time, you know what I mean? Would make me look better on stream. But let's talk about what we're going to do tonight, and then we'll continue on. So last week we were working on lino cutting, which was pretty fun. We did some stamping last week, and I don't know, overall I think the project came out pretty well, and we can review that before we get started, because what we're going to do is going to be a combination of the last two episodes that Hi Kylie, welcome to the stream. So the last two episodes I'm going to kind of combine and try to do a whole project in a very short amount of time. And I don't know the outcome of the project, which is usually, half the battle. But what we're going to do is the plan is to go over tessellations, which we drew, and I honestly could not find the paperwork before we started in order to show you what I drew, but we're going to make new ones today, and then we are going to try to get it to be able to cut the stamp and then use the stamp to see if we can replicate the pattern. That's the plan. There's some interesting methods that we'll be using today. I'll be using speedball ink. Well, let's just go over this. This will be easier to do if I do it with you on the studio camera. So we're going to pop over the studio camera, and it's on. Look at that. I'm all prepared and everything. So this is the paper we're going to use for tessellations today. They are 3" by 3". I know they're kind of small. They're about the size of a Post-it note, but that's what paper I had laying around, so that's what we're going to use. Also, when you start doing tessellations too big, it's hard to find a piece of paper that does your design justice and allows you to do enough prints. And you'll see just what I'm talking about as I show you. So let's see. So in order to create a pattern, what we did was we cut some shapes. And this is what we did last time. Here's a frog that I drew. Here's a shape, and what I was looking for was this set of shape drawings, because I did a series of 6 different drawings. Tonight we will not go through that many. I'm going to draw one, turn the page around, find the way I want to draw it, and try to draw a simple shape. But these are made by taping 2 pieces of paper together, so pretty simple. And we'll go over exactly how to do that and which way it goes so that you don't get confused, because if you do this wrong, it will not work right. So we need that. We need some Sharpies. I have my cutting tool for my linoleum, which I also have here, piece of linoleum, and then I have a couple different colors of speedball ink. And I figure I buy enough art supplies to do like 1 or 2 projects every year, and then I just put all those art supplies away and then never do anything with them again. So this is a attempt to try to use some supplies as well as, create some content that hopefully is enjoyable. All right, so just recapping. So we'll get into this and we'll talk all about how to make those, and we'll make one from scratch. But then the next step of that process would be transferring it onto linoleum and then doing something. Oh, sorry guys, what did I just do? Oh, I full screened this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh well. It's just gonna have to stay that way. Alright, anyways. The chat will come up on this side. So I don't want to exit full screen. I just want to exit full screen. And it won't let me escape. Escape. Nope. It's not doing anything. I hit one button. I don't know what button it was. Anyways, All right, we'll move on from that. It's not important. Anyway, so we have our stamp that we cut out using our tool to cut out the stamp with our tool. And then I printed a few versions in pink. So this is Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. And I printed him in pink on a few different types of paper. We went through regular, just plain printer paper, which, I mean, it's got a cool, very like made effect. I'm gonna put my keyboard down here so I don't hit it again. There's just too many things on my desk. And then we did it on a higher cardstock. And then we did it on a 120-pound cardstock. This is so thick. And then I did it on a 110-pound black paper, which was kind of cool. It gave us like a really like neon light effect. It kind of dulled out the center, which to do the neon effect, you actually want to put the brightest light in the middle and then have it kind of fade outwards. But this still kind of gave us the neon effect, which I thought was pretty cool. But we're going to try to go through the whole process, and my plan is that we'll come out with a stamp that we'll be able to replicate, or a Linocut that will be able to be replicated. There are major flaws in this idea though, because once we get it to this stage, how are we going to line it up on a piece of paper to get it to print right next to each other unless I cut the stamp out to be the shape? And that might be just what we have to do. So it's going to be an adventure. I'm going to try to do it all, and let's get started because we're just going to run out of time. That's what's going to happen. I don't know why that full screened on me and I can't get it out of full screen. I just don't know what to do. It's not worth dealing with right now. Okay, so we're going to get started drawing. Let's start with our tessellation because that's what we need to get done first. And in order to do that, I cut 3 pieces of paper, and I'll fix the problem I have right now. Oh, sorry. The reason I'm having an issue is because, there we go. My Twitch stream is behind my OBS stream, and I cannot see my Twitch feed at all, so that's where I am with that. Okay. Okay, now everything's better. So, I'm going to take my 3 sheets of paper, we're going to draw 3 different lines, and we're going to do it 3 times so you can really get the visual of how this is going to work. So, this side over here is going to go all the way over to this side and be glued over here, and this side is going to be glued here or vice versa. But you need to make sure that you glue the opposite sides, otherwise this does not work. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to start small here because I know that they come into contact there. And I'm going to draw a shape however I want. Oh, that might not have worked out well. And then this one I'm going to draw another shape. And you can go, and I believe you could probably draw outside of the square, or like cross it off to like this edge. I believe you can do that, but it makes it harder to start gluing or taping to get back together. What happens is you have to actually like do a little bit of finagling, where this is a little bit easier. So we're going to do a few of these, and I'm going to just mark this so that we can clearly see what's going on. So we're going to go from side A, which is side A, and then I'm going to write side A over here because I know it's going to go across. And this one's going to be B, and this one is also going to be B. So we're going to go across that way. So when we tape, our B should line up and our A should line up, and that is a good way to indicate on which side is which and where everything needs to go. So I'm gonna rough cut this line because it doesn't really matter, but what I really want to do is get it out all in one piece without damaging it too much, like cutting pieces apart or cutting it off. That's why I don't suggest like making your line touch at this end, because you will have two separate pieces, which you can do. It is very possible to do. You just have to line it up a little bit better. And maybe we'll try one of those in the next one just to experiment a little bit, because that's what this channel's all about. We're just trying new and different techniques to see. And I am going to end that one early. And you see how like it got a little bit bent? And you really want to try to avoid like damaging it at all, because this is going to be your template for, I mean, if you were doing it by hand like we used to do, and I mean my students do, they had to draw like 15 of these. They were not happy. I said pick a simple design that you want to replicate. I have a really cool one of these that I drew that's a bunch of different scenes of a waterfall, but each waterfall falls into the next waterfall. I would have to dig it out of a yellow book somewhere. I think I drew it on legal paper. And I was probably supposed to be studying, and I was not, which is probably why everything's always going so well in life. But whatever. We do what we like. Rather live a life doing what you like than doing something you don't like. So look, there the bees match up, and you can get really precise and like draw lines and have the lines connect, and that makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to mess with the up and down. Because if you can see on this one in particular, here I'll zoom in for you just so you can see what's going to happen. This needs to be glued on this side exactly there, so it'll fit into this one, and this side will have to be glued with the same letter on the same side. That's why it's a good idea to draw your letters up there, somewhere there. Now you can't just line up the A's, because you know I didn't draw those in the correct place, and I can't line up the B's, but if I did this on some sort of graph paper or something like that, it would be much easier for you to do something like that. You just match up the lines. Easy. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to eyeball it, and I don't know if I really love this shape, but we're going to put it all together anyways, just so I have it. See, I got to account for this much. I remember there was a trick. Like you fold it, you fold it in half, but I don't like doing that trick. And then you draw the line where it is. That's how you do it. There's always a trick. But I don't like doing it that way, because then my template's folded in half. I like to keep everything pretty nice if I can. But nice and accurate, or just nice for no reason, you know what I mean? Like maybe I should just... The reason why this is so important is because this is your base pattern. And that's just... Oh man, there's so little room to tape there. Okay, we got it though. And then we're going to do the top part. This might end terribly if I don't get a shape that I like. So I'm going to cut a stamp out of it. And I'm going to have a stamp forever. It's going to be made. It's like interesting how you can make things. Like you can actually just like, okay, I'm going to build this today, or I want to do this. And like we're creative enough as human beings to just create things. So you should try to make things all the time. Actually spent some time sketching some stuff out recently, and like it wasn't great. Let me see if I can find it. I did bring it. It's here. So like I did this just quick sketch today, earlier today. It's a little wolf guy and some trash can monster. I was drawing random lines, and that's kind of what came out. There's a little bit of texturing, just real quick though. Nothing that I spent a whole lot of time on, but fun anyways. Just doodling today. So here we have our tessellation number 1. Let's do number 2. Let's go for more of a, I don't know, jagged look. Something like that, I guess. And then maybe some curls. Should I do some curl? Like, oh, this is gonna be weird. It's okay. I'm gonna do a jagged spike and a curl this way. And then it's gonna go down to the corner. Okay. So I did that one with the thinner marker just so I can see a little bit better. The fat marker really gives me just too much leeway to mess up. Although the thin marker makes me have to like really kind of turn the scissors in there, which ruins the paper a little bit. Just because it's not meant to bend in some ways. Paper's just fibers of trees put together. I've seen how it's made. Maybe we should make our own paper one day. Next thing you know, I'm going to be doing rugs over here, which, looks pretty fun. It's kind of a costly investment. Kind of have to get at it. And I think it's hard to sell a rug. Well, unless it's like super custom. And even then, I saw some Pokemon rugs online for $150, which I'm sure is like comparable to how much time you have to put into making one of those rugs. I know they make it look super easy on YouTube, but I'm sure it takes time. Like all these streams are done live, so you can see how much time this actually takes. It's time consuming. But tessellations. So we're gonna make another one. I didn't draw my A and B. I should have, but I feel like I can identify where these need to go. So we're gonna do a quick cut this way, and then another cut the other way. I can't see, black lines on the other side of the scissors. And then we're gonna cut back. Oh. And then we're gonna cut down. And we're going to cut out to the corner. I only did it to the corner so I would have a good, nice line to line it up with. Same procedure as the last one. We're going to tape our little pieces down. And yeah, that's going to be it. It's going to be easy peasy. So, there can be problems when you are taping your tessellation down back together. You could like be messing around and all of a sudden it's flipped upside down. And you go to tape it on and you do it upside down. This can happen. This shape will not work because they will not link up together when we do the final image. So you can't put this one, oh yeah, this one does go like this. So that one goes like that. Oh no, it doesn't. This one goes the wrong way too. Anyways, see how you can get easily mixed up with what you should be doing? So make sure you draw your letters there. It's just easier. I got too excited and forgot. That's my fault. I think this is probably going to be the most interesting shape, just to be fair. I need to draw something out of it. Okay, it's fine. I actually have a lot of pieces that end up using this kind of pattern. I did a wolf sitting at a table. No, it's a zombie sitting at a table eating a brain or doing something to a brain, either eating it, hitting it with a hammer. I think I had one tasing it, but the way it's set up is the brain is on the table as spaghetti, so it looks like, and then the zombie's wearing a hat that's a table, so that, like, it's just this cascading length of zombies looking at a brain that looks like spaghetti that's actually on the top of another, that's the top of another zombie. So yeah, that was an interesting set of projects that I worked on, and those are somewhere too, again on Lego pads. Oh man, I don't like doing that. So here we go, we're going to tape this one in. I like that shape, it's pretty cool. Let's spin them around a little bit so we can get some other fresh perspectives on these shapes that we're going to be using. This one already looks like a frog, but ooh, like there's some parts where I have to like make up something. Let's turn this one upside down. Okay. What am I going to make for this one? What should we do? Jagged lines, straight lines? What should we do? Third one. I don't know. We did straight lines here, we did jagged and some round lines. I guess we could do some of both, like one of both. See how that comes out. So we're gonna draw our A and our A and our B and our B. I'm gonna start on the A side, and if you start big on this side, you're just gonna have to remember that whatever design you put on this side isn't gonna be as big, and that might be fine. Maybe I should try to do that. Let's do something a little bit more rounded, and then off to that. So then we can go, maybe we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, cool. It's gonna, we're getting all these little weird tiny shapes out here which make them look like feet because of the way this pattern is designed to work. I wonder, maybe we should try that. Wonder if I cut off a whole corner, what that would do. Like if I connected, I can't connect the two, can I? Would it be connected at that top corner? It wouldn't work. Because this would come out as a piece like this, and then A would go over here, and then B would still be connected there. I guess that's the way it would work. Huh. Interesting. I kind of want to just try one of those for test purposes now. Like if you connected the two, how would the pattern continue on? Oh, my fan's probably super loud. Sorry guys, I'll turn that off. Okay. There. Now, there's those two. That's probably better. Oh. Alright, we're going to continue on. We're going to draw a couple shapes. Alright, A to A. It's the whole thing. Good. We're just going to put it together then. I feel like this mat is like a blessing and a curse sometimes. Sometimes it's just too sticky. But it's great because it actually grips things, so I can't be mad. So like this piece is very tricky to figure out which side is which if you didn't have black lines or it was labeled, because they're pretty close to the same. You know, they're not too off, but they're off enough. If you tried to do this, it would not work as your pattern. So make sure you got your things lined up. And yeah, a little bit more tape. Oops. Well, that was a really little bit of tape. We're definitely starving artist status over here. I reuse a lot of tape too, so save tape. Okay, there's that one. I wish I could find those drawings and I could just use the Mickey one, because I think the Mickey one would be cool, but or the Mickey prototype one. I just don't know where I put. There's so many places to put artwork in this place. I just don't know where I put it. Did I throw it in? Hold on, just give me 1 second. Let me see if I threw it in with the junk stuff, because sometimes that happens. Like I'll take something and we'll finish a project and I'll clean up and just throw it in here. But it doesn't look like I put it in here. It's a bummer. Alright, we're going to continue on. Don't know. Lost in the abyss of things to do. Although I could probably redraw it. Let's not do that. We've spent time doing this. Which one should we pick, though? That's the question. Which one? I was thinking this one would be cool as like spiky hair. And then like maybe like a weird kazoo trunk thing going on there. Side of a face. What else could it be? I mean, it looks like a bird like this. Or like some sort of weird Muppet with like Kermit. But Kermit doesn't have a nose. But then he's going to be eating his own hair, which we may or may not want. I do like the frog idea. I think let's do the frog. Man, the frog would be the easiest to do, but I know the viewers aren't going to like doing the frog. So let's not do the frog. Because it almost looks like he's got one of his hands, and then you have the frog with his mouth open, and then his hand would both be on his shoulder. Stomach would look kind of weird. Okay, let's not think about it that way. Ooh. If I tried really hard, I might be able to turn this into a reindeer. Like the mouth and the antlers. But it's kind of complicated. I actually want to stick to something pretty simple as far as how many lines we're going to put in it. So nothing too complicated. This is the hardest part, the creative part. The rest of it's easy. Once you get everything started, it's fine. Did I brick myself and make 3 shapes I can't do anything with? Just don't see any. Ooh. Coyote? Trying to think. This kind of looks like a like an undertaker with like his leg and like that little loin cloth maybe and like a chain across his stomach, like a belly, and he's holding his arm out with like a glove or something. Maybe this could be his other glove or the axe. And then a big boot. This one I'm just not getting anything from. What could it be? What about the other way? Trying to not see the bird. Oh, these are pretty tough. But let's just try the reindeer. Let's see if I can even draw it. Let's go for it. And I can draw this on a piece of white paper, which I don't have readily available. Well, this is the 110. Not really the paper I want. Actually, today's project needs to be done on printer paper. Alright, today's project actually has to be done on printer paper because we need it to be thin. And this next part is pretty important too as you are going through and drawing your design. You want to make sure you copy this exactly, you don't shift it a lot. You can tape it down, makes it a little bit easier. I am not going to tape it down just for the sake of time. We're just going to go for it. Maybe I'm thinking also too big picture. And I'm really just trying to color around it as best I can so I have the closest I can get to the edge. And remember, your design has to go inside of this. So when you make your design, you have to make sure it'll go inside of this design. So even if you want to put an extra finger or something, you either can draw it into the other side of the design, which then it will come through, or you must forget about having 5 fingers. You're only going to get 4. So there's our shape. Great. Step 1 done. Now I was thinking for the moose. Draw a mouth. They don't really have that big of mouths, do they? Like I want to draw teeth in a regular format, but I can't. Also, I don't want to put too much intricate detail into this because I'm going to have to cut all this out. So maybe some easy lines. And I also have to cut out the negative, which makes it pretty. So this would come back. maybe his eyes here for the reindeer. Oh man, that reindeer looks evil. And like the head comes and meets it here, and I think there's an ear that goes here. I'll draw the chin that goes around. Maybe make this a little bit more cartoony. Right? Right. So the nostril here. Nostril here. And then for this, we need to know that there's going to be an outline on the inside of this, because that's what's going to that's going to be the edge of our stamp if we're going to try to stamp it more than once. Okay. So this should be like, we should do this to this one, and maybe like this, and space there, space here. This will be black, and we can color in our black space if you want. It will help you at the end, depending on which way you decide to do this project. So I'm going to add some more white space in here. Just kind of give us some more. Maybe this antler is too big, but this is at a really weird angle, so I'm trying to figure out its best move. This antler is weird. It's going to need to get a thicker line on the inside. So let's just color that in now. I need that thick, wide line. This will help you in your transfer, which we haven't really talked about, and it is important to talk about the transfer. I don't know how the ears go. The head's probably not like this either, but it's okay. So just like tree branches, right? There we go. I'm going to color this in. This is our space we're coloring in. And if you can widen up all your lines, you're going to have to. Is at least on the linoleum that I'll be using tonight. You really, excuse me. I need to make this skinnier. There's something wrong with the antler. There's a lot of things wrong with this antler. This should be skinnier, that should be wider, this should be wider. I don't know. Okay, it's fine. So, the more area that you have that is because the linoleum is so, sorry, my brain started to wander as I was drawing. The reason why you're going to darken in all your lines is with the linoleum that I'm using, we're not going to be able to get that fine of detail. If you use the other style linoleum, see, like I really want to flare his nostrils, but you can't. You have to stick to the rules. Stick to the rules. And then like neck. Why does it look so weird? Looks like a donkey. I don't like this one at all. Looks like a giraffe with antlers. Because the neck, the head, and the face comes back to the head. Like, alright. Maybe I just need to fix it. I might scrap this one, so let's, because that thing looks like a hippopotamus met a giraffe met a reindeer met a, like the neck needs to be different. Got some bells around the neck. I don't know. I'm not loving this one, and I don't want to cut a piece of linoleum and spend that much time on something that I'm not really wanting to draw. Are we just doing tessellations today? That might be the game plan. Might be the game plan. Looks like the devil. Okay. I don't like that one. Scrap it. That's fine. Let's try something else. Let's try the other one. I'm telling you, I cut 3 shapes I'm not going to be able to do anything with. Why is my creativity on low today? Sometimes, you know, you want to be more creative than you actually are, which is days like today. Whoops, I messed it up. I moved it. It's okay, I can reset. I just have to reset correctly. Not the easiest thing to do though. So you want to try to avoid that by taping it down. Man, I messed that one up, and then like it's really tiny over here. I really wish I could find that drawing. Just don't have any clue where I put it. I moved a bunch of things around this week as well because I wasn't easily able to get to everything that I needed. So that's what happened. Okay. I don't know what is in this shape. What What can I draw? What can I draw? Alright, let's come back to that shape. I don't know, that shape's crazy. So is this shape though. None of these shapes are easy. None of these shapes are easy. I'm going to try to draw them at an angle so that it's a little bit, whoops. We might not get anything done tonight, guys. Let's try again. Last one. Hopefully this one, I don't know. Out of the 3 I made, I didn't see a ton of potential with any of them, which is unfortunate. Usually I can find something to draw out of every angle of these, and all these is like, ugh. What do you do with like this little tiny tail of nothing? Maybe I'll just have to redraw the Mickey Mouse one and just call it at that. And you know, sometimes things just don't work. But like what I was talking about, nope, oh, like that angle. How about this? What about this way? What about none of these are very easy shapes. I mean, this almost looks like a bird flying with one of his wings down and then the back of his tail. And then something sitting on his back, but like what? I guess we can give it a shot. So I'm just going to give my fat black outline first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the inside of my shape. And if I don't finish this project, what I'll do is I will work on it this week and I will get something done. I'll get the cutting part out of the way because that might take a bit. I was hoping to get the drawing part out of the way tonight, but the way things are looking, I just do not see any potential in any of these, which is a bummer. I literally drew 5 different ones out of one shape the other day, and quickly. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on it because cutting a stencil, or maybe I should do a quick draw and just try to blast out a bunch of different ideas. You know? Be helpful maybe. Staying on the inside of the line, I can always fix it later. wanted to get the design drawn and at least transferred. What time is it? It's already 9 o'clock almost. He's like bent in the wrong place there. Like, cause I can draw two hands like holding reins and then like sleeves, maybe a saddle. I'm gonna do a quick pencil drawing. So what I'm thinking is like a hoodie, right? And then like arm, and then like hand. This is gonna be too complicated. Reins. It needs to be really simple. I even think the Mickey Mouse one might be too complicated. Nope. Okay, let's try something else, because I don't like this shape either. Let's see if we can revert to one of our old shapes. I'm gonna just draw this shape in the corner here. Oh. Okay. Try again. You might cut a bunch of these shapes and it might not work. This one's just as weird too. And I really did cheat on the one that I drew. Yeah, this one's pretty, it's not gonna work. This little part down here where where I drew his leg is too skinny for what I need to cut. This is what happens when you don't do projects ahead of time. Oh no. Come on, down a little bit. There we go. Ah. I should have taped it down. But again, I did not tape it down. I don't even listen to my own advice. It's fantastic. Like, I know what to do. You gonna do it? Nah. Okay. So when I did Mickey Mouse, I did him in, so this was all black. We cut this all out in black, and then his head would go, you know, down here. This would all be black. Right? And see, this is too much black. Then he has cheeks, right? A cheek to a face. Right? And then we're going to do him in some crazy sunglasses. Now this is where it gets a little weird, because I end up drawing the other part on this part, which kind of makes some crazy sense in some ways. And then we're going to draw his nose over here. So we get both of those in. Okay. That's all black. It's black. Or maybe I just do the outline so you can color him in. Then he has a punching glove, boxing glove on this hand. Then his arm goes into his body, and it's over here. And then his leg is here, so we drew like a short, some shorts down to his other leg. And he's wearing a boot, so that'll work there. We're not going to put too much detail into it. And then, what did I do? Trying to remember. Oh, sorry, it's not in frame. Terrible. Then what did I do? Let's put his other foot here. And we're gonna bend this in. His shorts are gonna come down, and then his foot's gonna be coming out that way. His body's gonna be laid back. And then he's gonna be winding up for a punch, I think. So we're gonna draw a punching glove in here. And they're usually like tied onto your wrist. So he's winding up. For a punch. Right? Is there anything else we need to fill in? It almost looks like he's punching his other self. Should we make this black? Oh no, because that's all going to be black, so this can't be black. This has got to be white. So we're going to give it all white. And then his boot's going to come out to there. Maybe we'll draw a line so his body's more straight. So that's his eyebrow line. So all this area is going to be black, maybe with like a shine on his ear. So you can get some sense of like, this is on the back of his ear though, so if it was coming from the top it would be like on this corner, I think. And then this is the front of his ear, so we probably would get something here, right? I don't know. Don't know. This is where I'm not good at highlights. Because this here would be, oh, I can't change that line. I almost tried to change the line. And then I realized that I can't. Not that one, at least. Okay, there's that. Maybe we want a little bit more body to Mickey. Okay, curve this a little bit. And draw these lines in pretty thick. gonna look a little weird, but that's okay. It's just the way it goes. And then there's going to be space in between, which I can fill in with design or other things, but let's just start with this. Get a few things cut out here. Right. And just see how this part goes, because that's where we really need to start. Plus I want to show you a few things. Now, here's the issue. Now this is important when you go to draw your pieces. Before this even happens, you are going to have to turn this over at some point and transfer this onto this piece of paper. Now there's a couple ways to do it. There's the old-fashioned way, which is the way we'll probably do it, and I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques that you can do it if you wanted. Now, I'm okay with this since we've spent some time on it. I'm just going to do it, and we're going to see how well it comes out. But yeah, that's the plan. So what happens is you can, the way I always do it and the way we'll probably do it, let's talk about the ways we're not going to do it first. So here's a piece of carbon paper. Now this is magic paper. It is great for transferring images from one image to another and doing it in a fashion that doesn't mirror your image. There is a little bit of graphite on this side, and you turn it over and you'll write whatever you'll want to write. Right, and look, you get a nice little outline or image of what you just wrote. This is the stuff that they use in like police departments and stuff. This is the transfer paper that's in between it. I bought this at an art store, but you can get it other places. I wouldn't suggest writing directly onto your paper. You can use this stuff a bunch of times. You just take your paper, put it on top, and then you would trace onto the piece of linoleum like so. Watch, I will show you in the small corner. And this is really nice because you don't have to do anything. You just trace and oh, it didn't come through. Never mind, you can't do it this way. Oh, let's try again. Nope. This paper only works on other paper, but it works really well on other paper. See, I'm getting lines, but that's okay. It didn't work, no problem. So we're gonna have to fix it. Now, another solution to this problem would be to use tracing paper. Now I have some tracing paper here. I can take this out, I can trace it, and then I can transfer it over. And you might have to do this anyways, depending on how complicated your image actually is, and if you care if it's backwards or not. Like, if this image has to go right to left or left to right, depending on what you wanted it to be, you know, it just all depends on you. For me, I don't care which way it goes, so I'm going to choose the easiest option. And so what I would do if I wasn't choosing the easiest option is I would trace this. I can either retrace this, which gives me a good opportunity to clean up my lines a little bit and make it look better, or my second option, I would retrace and then flip it over, and then I would trace it down onto the piece. Or you can skip that step, not do that, not have to retrace, not have to flip it over, and of course you can do all this stuff with an iPad or something else, some kind of digital device. But I'm going to do it the old school way. So you're going to take a regular pencil. The higher the graphite, probably the better. And you're going to rub your piece. Now, if you didn't want to do this, you could put this on a light table, trace your image from underneath, and then you'd already have your graphite and it would be in the right direction. But this is the mirroring technique. So I'm going to put a bunch of graphite down in the space that I want. And if you really want, you can grab another piece of paper and you can watch the transfer happen. Because it will transfer from the other side as well. Oh no, the moose. But our real goal is to try to get a thick layer of graphite from a pencil onto your paper. You might need to sharpen your pencil a few times depending on what you're doing, but you want to make sure you get all the space and all the edges. So you might need to flip it over a few times and go, well, it didn't get quite that far out and I'm going to need to color that one. So let's put some graphite there, graphite here. All right. So that looks pretty good. Probably not going to be good enough. I probably need a lot more, but we're going to give it a shot. And you can do this a couple different ways. Linoleum is malleable and you're going to cut it anyways. What I like to do, if you have them, and luckily I have some laying around, these are sewing pins. These are usually used for like pinning up mock-ups and things like that. You can get these on Amazon. Whoa, I dropped one. That one's going to be dangerous. And then you can pin in your design, which makes it really easy. You don't have to hold it, but the pins do get in the way, so maybe strategically place them. Unless you have like a thumbtack, you can use thumbtack as well. Pretty easy. Or you don't have to use them all in the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to randomly place them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a they use a blue pen most of the time, which is what I would use if I owned a blue pen, but I do not own a blue pen, so we're going to use the Uniball, and we're just going to trace over it. And the reason why I'm using the Uniball pen is I can see where I've gone, and I'll know, oh, I missed that line, or I didn't miss that line. So this makes it very useful. Oh, but what doesn't make it useful is this pen is pushing right through the paper. And maybe a ballpoint pen would not do that. But I'm going to just give it pressure, because the worst thing that it could do is go through the paper. And that might even be the best case scenario. That's kind of what we want anyways. I'm trying to do my best to lay down some thick lines here for everyone. Okay. I feel like his mouth is off though. But I need to draw it in there. I can't just wing it, because when I go in there and wing it, you end up messing up. Especially with this. Sometimes you can wing it and you can be like, oh, that came out okay, but sometimes you just can't wing it. This is one of those times where winging it is not the best option. So as you can see, I can easily tell where I've been, what I have traced, what I haven't traced. And this just makes your job easier. Don't be afraid to color in. I mean, your lines can be pretty thick, and they're going to be even thicker when we get to the bottom part. I'm going to just draw this in touching. That's what I want to do. I want to draw this in. Okay. I also need to draw this line. Part of the year. And if you stay on the inside of your line, you're going to know you're going to be safe. And once I get this onto the piece of linoleum, I'm going to color in my black areas with a Sharpie just so I know where I'm going. Okay, good. So it looks like I've gotten all my regular lines in. Okay, can remove the pins, and hopefully, better than the carbon paper, we have some results. Ta-da! Cool, right? Transferred it over. Boom. Look at that. It is reversed from your original though, so remember that. Or it is, no, it's the same as your original. That's how you gotta do it. Okay, a brain situation. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to take our little drawing, we're going to transfer it onto our piece of lino, and we are going to cut our lino. So I'm going to color in the parts that I know are going to be black. These parts must stay and do not need pieces cut out of them. Maybe your paper is too dark. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna color this in. Make sure I get that. Now, the other issue with coloring in linoleum is it just absorbs everything. So as you can see, my marker isn't even doing that well out here. Okay, I'm gonna just hit it on a piece of paper real quick to get it back up and running. Okay, and then we are going to continue coloring. Now I know this nose is going to be all black. So that's going to stay. This boxing glove needs to be outlined a little bit more. Give us a thick outline there. And it's okay to use a thick Sharpie. I feel like that's your, I mean, if you've done something so detailed that the thick Sharpie washes out your image, then your image probably is going to be, it just needs to be cut on the block, which needs a different tool. So if you're going to go that route with something really detailed, you're going to have to use the harder block with the linoleum glued to it. This linoleum is much harder and I believe requires different cutting tools, but I don't really know. I haven't had too much success with that one. Not that I've had a lot of success with any of these, but you know, here we are. Can't get better at something if you don't try it, right? So I'm going to quickly just line this in. I wonder how well this does. Oh yeah, except that probably smears. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can grab another Sharpie real quick, because this one is trying to take its last breaths on me. And so if it is white, needs to be removed. If it is black, it must stay. It's kind of the rule. And you can do this, I mean, if you really wanted to make it easier on yourself, you could color in the inverse, and that would allow you just to remove, that would allow you to remove the black, and then it makes it a little bit easier because your base is white underneath, so you would know that you like, oh, I did cut that out. Okay, I'm gonna give him some space glasses. All right, so there we go. We have our image. It looks like nothing right now, but it's probably gonna look like nothing later too. Alright, let's just real quick do what I said I was gonna do and get that black colored in there. I need the Ultra Sharpie. This might backfire on me when I go to print, because the black might come off with it, so I guess we're printing black first. Okay, gonna color all this in. Okay, good, 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 and more good. Alright, it's fine. We'll see how this comes out. It might come out terribly. I'm actually going to tell you it probably will come out terribly, so you can always quit watching. Alright, first off, tools. Let's move some things. We're done with some things. We're just going to clean up just a little bit so we're not fighting ourselves with things everywhere. And that's what happens to drawings. I throw them into the front of sketchbooks and they disappear. These can go away, this can go away, this can go up here, because the next part of this is going to be a mess. It literally is a mess. You will be cleaning up little pieces of linoleum for, I don't know, a day or two after this. So just get ready for that if this is part of your project plans. Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. I have to disengage and put all my sewing needles back onto their tape. Otherwise, they're going to end up places I don't want them to be. Sewing needles, come on. Oh my goodness, they're fighting me today. This is not what I need. Everyone lay down. There you go. Oh. Alright, as long as you're stuck to the tape, I don't care. I'll figure out what to do with you later. But you're not stuck to the tape, which is my problem with you right now. This is why so many paintings don't get finished. People get upset and they're like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. Alright, so I'm going to try to do our finer detail first. So if it is white, it needs to go. Don't cut the black out. And let's just try this tool. Now I'm not using the finest blade. I'm using the medium one because I am going, well, nope. I'm going to just start here and I'm going to start taking out chunks of linoleum. And before I do that, I'm actually going to get at my tool, which is right here. And I have this tool that allows me to brace and cut my block of linoleum against something. Now usually you would hook it up against like the edge of a block because it has a little hook here, but I'm not going to do that today because you will not be able to see, because the edge of my desk is not in filming area. So I'm going to go around the edge carefully. You can turn this block on your little pedestal. You don't always need a ton of pressure. You're just going to go around your image slowly, because if you make a mistake, it's all over. So just take your time, carve around the edges. Doesn't matter which way you go, you can turn any way you would like. You just want to start taking out pieces slowly. Yeah, like I said, we may not get through all of this, but we're gonna give it a shot. Sorry, I don't know if you're looking at the back of my head, I can't really tell. I'm trying not to get too all above it, but this is one of those things you kind of have to be looking directly at it, otherwise it can deceive you. You never want to use this tool towards yourself either. Always push away from yourself or your hands. It is very sharp, and with any amount of thrust, this little tool right here will put a nice hole in your hand, which you do not want. It's a linoleum cutter. So I just take out this line real quick because it's here and I know it's coming out. I almost want to make that all white, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to cut a little bit closer into the black on the outside, just because I know that I kind of want to do that. I'm going to give his glasses a little bit more of a stamping area. Okay, still getting in there. Still a little bit of cleanup here. Okay. Like I said, it gets kind of hard to see, you know? You're just kind of flying blind and digging at stuff for a while. And it'll all come together eventually. I think I just messed up his nose though. I should have just cut his nose out to begin with. Gone around. But we'll get it. We'll get it. See, and then just at that point I had my knife facing towards me, which was not the smartest idea. And here again. But I'm going real slow. I'm not even really putting in all that much pressure. This stuff is so soft. Which for some applications are great, like very low detail stuff. You know, making trees and scenery and background prints for cards is great with this stuff. But if you're trying to do any lettering or anything crazy like that, you're gonna have to use the denser block. Okay, so there, got that all cut out. We're gonna go around this black boxing glove like that. Get that cut out, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going one length in. I am trying to cut it decently deep though, and the reason why is when you make your attaching cuts, it's much easier to kind of navigate the end, and you'll see in a second what I mean. Like, you'll be going in one direction and you'll just end up cutting out towards the edge, and instead of hitting the line, you'll be hitting air or hitting your divot, which makes it just much easier to, you don't chip away at your actual line work. And just once you cut it out, good luck. You can't put it back in. Once it's out, it's out. And I've seen people do this with erasers, which I saw somebody did a whole series of this with like erasers and did multiple different scenes, which was really cool, I thought. Oh, I'm coming in here to cut out this, and I should have gotten closer with that, but I was playing it safe. Come back in and cut this out. Sorry, you guys cannot see. I apologize. I like brought it closer to me so I could see it. See how I like just came out to the end and it just chopped it off there, which was much nicer than having to have to like pull it straight up, because you don't always get like these little bumpy cuts at the end if you like try to like yank it straight up at the end. See, like I just dug into that a little bit and I probably shouldn't have. Okay, I need to move forward though. If you're not gonna let me see, I need to be closer to my desk, please. Sometimes my chair likes to fight me. Okay, we're gonna take out this, just run it down here, cut around the edge of his face. I'm gonna bring that up and kind of rip it out in the white, like try to do the most damage before you get to the end, because as you are at the bottom of your cut, it's hard to slowly come to the top. You're kind of stuck at that depth all the way through. Like here, I want to cut this all the way out, and then I'm going to come back in on this side to cut out that corner so it's nice and crisp. I have to be very careful with that. All right. I don't need to do that yet. It's always tempting because you really want to see what your work is. You want to get it all out, but you need to be careful. Sometimes you can use the tool to like cut straight down, and you can take chunks out. It's a little bit easier. Okay, and I'm going to come around this side and we're going to cut down and around. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:34. Oh man, we're already done. We're already done. How did time go by so fast? Oh, because I was struggling to come up with a concept. That's fine. Happens to the best of us. I'm going to come in here, cut straight across there, and then I'm going to come down and try to insert this line coming out. Okay, that way, and then again I'm going to use my tool going straight down, and I'm going to just kind of try to clip that little corner out without tearing it. These little annoying pieces are the worst though. Okay, good. We're going to go on the inside of this. Hopefully we can cut it like a square. Go that way one way, go this way to that corner, go this corner to that corner, and this corner to that corner. And hopefully, if we've done a good job, we'll have taken out. I apologize, this little board is clicking. I'm going to move it off of it because it's not really assisting me right now. We're going to try to just, oh I should have probably not done that. Okay. In any case, let's continue on. This arm. This arm. And we gotta go into the boxing glove. And I'm gonna just try to cut out as much as I can. Careful with your blade. Wow. Oh, I didn't even draw in the shoe. The shoe never made it. Okay, well, we didn't end up finishing anything tonight, which is unfortunate, but we did get ourselves started on another project, which I'm probably going to sit around and just try to finish this part at least. I don't see any reason why I would stop streaming, but if anyone doesn't want to stay, then that's fine as well, because I know streams are supposed to end at 9:30. I'll keep my pins on a magnet. Yeah, that would be super helpful. I have magnets laying around everywhere too, because I use magnets a lot. Just, I guess, not for my pin application. Okay, we're gonna go back in, clean up that cut a little bit for his leg and his shorts. I mean, to be fair, you probably could have drawn a bunch of these in the time it takes me to cut out a stamp or a Linocut, but I can make as many as I want of these after I'm done. You can probably draw a few though before I'm done. This is probably not the fastest. Let me zoom out so we're not worrying about that. Okay. So I feel like I got most of the line work in except for like maybe right here. Oh. We're gonna just keep trimming away. Oh man, I'm really kind of worried about this little corner right here. There's a little piece that won't come off though that I'm gonna just try to cut out real quick. Okay. Alright, good. Now we can really just kind of come back and line up our work, connect some of those lines, and then I'm going to switch tools real quick and we're going to drop into the bigger tool. Now, the bigger the tool, the less detail you're going to have, but you're going to get a lot more work done. And let me just show you. Now I can take a huge chunk out of this and go all the way to the top, and you see how that line really just helped me trim that out, and I didn't have to like rip a piece of my actual drawing out. You might have some high pieces that you need to trim out, but for the most part you can just really come across nicely like you're mowing lawn and cut that piece out. Keep coming, cut that piece out. Super satisfying, you know, just sit around and clean up your cut. Get it all trimmed down to something nice. You don't need it to be flat, and you also don't want to cut too far in, but you do want to cut far enough so you don't have like pieces sticking up, because all those pieces will definitely hinder your progress when you're doing your prints. They'll leave little dots places, so you really need to trim trim, and trim some more. All right. And we're gonna go, and be careful, because you'll do things like that, where you think you can get into places, but you really can't. And so there was only probably a few places that I could actually use this tool, even though it's so nice to use. Even going this way is a little risky. But like again I said, you really can just like clean up the space, make it look nice, pull out all your material you don't need, which are like a lot of these inserts. I know everything's starting to turn gray now because you've been touching, or I've been touching the marker and then the piece of linoleum, but that can kind of sometimes help you, like identify what you need to cut out. Let's see, there's this little piece right here. It'll be like the bane of my existence. Let me come in and trim this out a little bit more. Like so. And then come in here and cut out this little, maybe we can pull out that square now. Nope. I have to get in there and take that out. And that's why I said I needed to just like relax and wait on the actual like, because you see how this has a bunch of grooves in it. You don't want that. I mean, you can't have that. I like the nice clean flat look personally. So that's what I'm going for right now. Oh man, what a mess. This is a messy, messy job. This is why they don't teach it at school anymore. That, and there's no budget in any school, so we can go collect sticks outside on the playground. Okay, and then we're going to cut out his stomach. Area. Just gonna. Oh man, I didn't put a groove for his neck, so now I don't have this cut, which we're gonna put in real quick. Ooh. Okay. Continue on our path. You want to really try to avoid making as many strings as possible. Okay. No, I couldn't get this piece either, so some of these pieces are pretty small and I'm still going to need to go in with the medium tool and take it out, but this is the extra wide tool. So clearing big space. Okay. All right. Oh, can't do that with this one. We're going to try to use the medium or the large tool, not the extra large tool, but the large tool. Nope. That one still doesn't, still too big. Gotta go with back for the medium, although I do know I want to cut out this black edge. So I'm just going to do that now. I should have tried to end that at the end. There we go. cut out most of this black line because I want it to be white. I might need some of this just to stabilize this side. There we go. It's all trimmed out. It's a little terrible, but for the most part, we have trimmed what we need to trim, I think. These thinner blades just seem, the medium and the large blade just seem to gouge a little bit deeper into the linoleum than the flat blade. His boot's a little messed up, but we're just gonna have to deal with that because I can't fix it. That's okay. I'm gonna try to cut out that little piece there. We're gonna clean this up. Taking out that little piece. There we go. I gotta do this boxing glove, but the boxing glove, I feel like we're gonna need some ultra. Well, yeah, we're gonna need some ultra fine line. I hate using this tool because it cuts so fine and it's so hard to use. And maybe I'm using it wrong, but the smallest one is pretty difficult to use. Okay, so let's see if we can clean up this little line right here. There we go. Bring it in a little bit closer. Alright, and then boxing glove. Let's see if we can get this. I just don't understand. This one like doesn't even, it's like too shallow to cut. Sorry, I'm gonna move it a little bit out of the frame. I'll bring it back out and you can see the mess it's making. But my issue is like that. Why did it's too shallow and it just cuts underneath? So I don't even get it to cut on the top. So we're gonna have to use our medium tool. Otherwise we're just scratching. We're just pushing the linoleum around and it doesn't do well when it's been cut a lot of times. It starts getting harder and harder to work with. Okay, I'm going to just try to cut out like a little tiny circle divot. There we go. Now this is probably going to look terrible because I didn't do a great job of cutting this. And I just don't know. I think really it's the linoleum's fault, but we can blame me if you want. If you really want to. I'll take the blame for lack of skill here. Okay, so this is what we have. This is our shape. Now, my idea was that I would cut this shape out, but I don't know how to do that. So that's going to be a new adventure. I can't use scissors. Let's see if I can use my good old friend, the X-Acto knife. And in theory, I would want to cut around my black line, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to cut it off in chunks. Okay. Oh, sorry. My chair has been so squeaky lately. I'm going to cut this piece off because I'm pretty sure I'm going to ruin most of this. And if I have the chance that I can make another stamp, I do want to take it, or Linocut. I've never done it this way before. I don't think it's meant to be done this way, but we're gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna cut into my linoleum and try the best that I can to follow the lines. Okay, there's too many things on my desk. It's gonna drive me crazy. There's going to be a lot of pieces of linoleum around. Oh. Okay. This isn't going to work, but it's going to kind of work, but it's not really going to work. Because there's so many non-exact parts when this really needs to be quite exact. You know? But it's a good trial. We're gonna just give it a try. I might be able to get another stamp out of this too, so I'm gonna cut it here. Save what you can. Save what you can. It's all right. Also, I'm trying to do this pretty quickly, so I don't know if it's going to come out great. And I'm just kind of confused on what I need to be doing. What I really need to do is follow the line on the top. As far as the bottom is concerned, it doesn't really matter. Okay. That's that line. We're going to go back. We're going to cut out to this line. Oh man, that was a little bit off, but we're gonna go with it. Now I just might have ruined the entire structure, entire integrity of this thing, but that's alright. That's alright, because it's just a test, and we weren't looking for perfect. That's the way you do it. And then you go all the way through. So if I cut along the top and then start back in, I don't have to push as hard, and it's not as hard to follow the line. Whew, I just feel like this X-Acto blade's gonna come right through my finger. That would make for a good stream. Rescue 911. Just watch me pass out. These ears are gonna be hard. Feel like we should finish up at some point. I mean, that's obvious. Okay, almost done. Just a few more cuts. Oh, don't cut that part off. Come on. There we go. Did I do this one already? I did. I didn't do this one? I did. Oh. It's stuck somewhere. Just cut it out the back. The back doesn't matter. It's only the front that we're really worried about. Alright, well, that's a pretty crudely made homemade stamp today. Based on a pattern. Oh, okay. One more set of cuts, hopefully. And then we'll go and clean it up, and then I don't even think I need to cut this all the way off to be precise, but this will maybe help us line it up if I cut it exact. Alright, so there we go. There is our weird tessellated pattern. Alright, next step. Now that we've done a terrible job of cutting this out, like this needs to be. I don't need to be a perfectionist about this though. That's my annoying habit that I need to chill out on. Like, this part doesn't need to be perfect. You should have spent more time drawing your thing. Alright, there's a little bit of extra here that I'm going to trim off. Which tool do I use? I don't know. The one that makes things easier, I guess. I'm just trying to clean up all these straggling little pieces of linoleum. And there we have our very weird Mickey Mouse, and a lot of trash and a lot of dangerous tools. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick cleanup. It is 10 o'clock. I know it is late. I just want to try to print this 1 or 2 times. And trust me, doing that is going to cause so much more work for me to clean up, but I want to try it. That's what we did this whole project for, was to try it. And it's good being on stream for a few hours, because then I'm like, okay, ready, set, go. We're going to get this all done so you don't have to take out all these supplies again and try this again. So we're going to do a real quick cleanup, because there's always so much mess with this process. And it's just like a little mess, just like little pieces of things that can go all over the floor. I feel like I cleaned up enough messes this week. Okay. So there we go. There's that. I need my brayer real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, usually I would test out some new color, and I'd be like, hey, let's do something a little bit more interesting. But right now, we're just going to use black, and we're going to do a few prints and see how this turns out. So let's go. First step we need for this is to move all tools. Sorry guys, I have to clean up, otherwise we're going to be... I just have too many little pieces and parts to things. I wish I had a magnet near. I have one on my fridge. I'll go grab it after the show. Alright, this can go away. This I'm going to put up here. These two pieces of linoleum can go back. Sharpies, all of them can go back. Because this part is a little bit messy, and I just need more room than less. We're done with these. We've shown these. Okay, we've done our tessellations. We need our ink. This is going to go up here. And we are going to do this part. No more need for a mouse. I think we're pretty much good on where we're at. Alright, last part of this. Speedball ink. I hate speedball ink. It is chalky. I do not like it, but I'm using it anyways. And let's see if there's anything left in this tube. And there's not. And I was probably afraid of that happening, so I bought a new tube. Let me try to just, get this a little bit mixed up, because I feel like sometimes this does not work the way it should. Okay. I'm gonna put, has it already been used, or someone opened it? There we go. Maybe I'll like this speedball ink better. Ooh, I used too much. I didn't know it was coming out that fast. Alright, so we're going to get our brayer nice and black. It helps, actually I don't even know if I need the brayer this time. We'll use it anyways, because we're here. Usually the speedball ink is really tacky. Today it is not tacky, so I'm excited to see what it does. Alright, where's our little stamp? So we have our stamp here. We don't have any lines, and I just got black ink all over everything, so that's great. And now that you've seen this, we're going to move into our test. So my black ink is ready over here. I'm going to go here. We're going to drop back down into the studio. Alright, ready? So our first test print, I'm going to take our thing. I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to give it a nice coat of black ink. Now there's going to be a couple big problems with this. How am I going to pick it up, first of all? And 2. How am I going to line these up? Okay, good. Perfect. Nice and inked. So I'm going to take this, pick it up. Oh, touch the ink. Oh, God. Good Lord. And I'm going to put it down there. Yay. Stamp it down. Could use my other brayer, which is clean, and we're going to use that for the back. You can use another piece of paper, which is probably the smartest in between the two, so you don't get ink on your clean one. You don't want to do that. And then we're going to peel this up. Oh dear, it looks ugly. Oh, that didn't work out that well. Okay, well, what happened? Okay, I'm going to try it again. Print. Now this one we're going to try to line up. Oh man, that looked terrible. It's maybe because it's not upside down. Like this printmaking technique is used to like lay your print on to the thing. Okay, now I need to line this up with his goggles maybe. Oh. And we're going to do a print. Roll our brayer. Oh, I see. It shifts when I do that because there's not enough stamp. Like the stamp just moves. Okay. Well, let's see. I wonder if I can just stamp it. I'm going to just try to stamp it and not do all the work of putting it on with the brayer. Oh, I can tell that it's not evenly distributed. So the brayer helps distribute the ink evenly, which is nice. But like I said, and I had a theory that this was not going to work, but we tried it anyways. Which might have been a giant waste of time, but it's okay. What else was I going to be doing? So here we go. We're going to try to put that down again. Oh, that one's not lined up. It's okay. Oh. Not the best design, let me tell you. And I obviously did not push down. Oh, no. That's not true. Alright, let's see how well the bottom lines up. In order to get the lens for his thing, I have to put one more on there, which would put me off of the paper, which is not something I want to do. So I'm not going to do that. We're just going to continue on, and I'm going to handle these really delicately. And this, it's going to print on my desk. I don't know where I dropped it. Not in the right spot. So, way too low. I was supposed to print that much higher. Like I said, I didn't think this was going to work all that well because of what we were trying to do. And I just don't know how to line up these prints any other way because you won't be able to see them any other way. And that becomes the big issue. Is like, how do you see them if the paper is on top? Okay, let's try to actually drop this one in the right location. And now nothing's going to line up though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why it's important to have like a really good technique, because if I want his sunglasses to line up with his head, this is headed off in the wrong direction. And then this one probably doesn't match up either. Let's see. Okay, now we're moving into havoc. Like, right. Not the best. But still kind of fun. If I had done a better job, like I think these top ones are lined up. Let me see if I can actually get this to print in the right place. Oh, maybe it's just about adjusting it a little bit. And it's okay. It's okay that it's not perfect. Okay, so that one came out better around, like, his leg is there. But his nose is on the other side, and that's where you get into tricky parts when you start designing across your design. And then at some point you may as well just draw your design and then fill in the entire rest of the square, and then you have your design, and it's just better. But then it's square, and then, you know, so this one will fit right here if it was to work. Let's put you right there. I'm making a mess on my desk. I'm also making a mess of the stamp. And you see how it's too far? But that's kind of the idea. That's like what we were going after. I wish it came out better. But, you know, first try, that's what we get. That is what we get. Alright. Well, battery died. Well, I think that's going to be it for this one. I'm sorry if it was boring or was a waste of time. I tried to actually do this. I thought it would work a little bit better. No, I actually didn't think it was going to work good at all. Let's continue. Let's finish up what we started. Oh, and this one will fit there. There's just not enough structure to the linoleum, and this, if this was on a block, it might work better, and then I guess I could measure out where the block would go opposed to the mouse. These ones I can just simply fill in half of the stamp. So I'm just gonna do half, and then we're going to just flip over, and we're going to print. And we're going to print. Oh, we're going to print. Oh dear. The last one prints here, but you know, we're just filling in the page. And then the last part we're going to do just the nose and the other side. Just so we can finish off this piece and it's all its glory. And I'm probably going to have to like take this back to the drawing board, look at what went right, look at what went wrong. Most of the problem is I don't have experience with either medium, like not a ton of experience. Enough to get by, but enough to get by is usually not good enough. I'm going to do our last one in the corner. And then I'm going to clean up and we're going to be out. That's going to be it. So, one more. There you go. So that's going to be kind of it for this one. Let me zoom ourselves out. And we can take a look at what was done. Pretty, I mean, it's not terrible, and it's not great. It's good from far. Come on, zoom in. There we go. So that was our, quick idea of doing tessellations or something that it's hooked together and making patterns. I don't know, didn't come out great, but it was a different way to do it. And like I said, most times when you do linoleum prints, you are putting your paper down just for quality assurance. And how much of a mess we made here. Let me just do a quick how big is that? Maybe that'll fit on a piece of cardstock. Maybe that'll fit on one of our cards. On the back of Pinky. Will it fit on the back of Pinky? It might fit on the back of Pinky. So, just to test the theory that this stamp wasn't terrible, and trust me, it wasn't great. So our ink's drying, and it's gotten to that tacky stage where I don't like it. Also getting to the stage where I need to get this done so that my ink isn't drying everywhere. So here we go. We're going to do it the way it was intended. I'll put it down. Oh, and like I said, it's still not even intended to this because you need your full block in order to print it, otherwise it moves. But there we go. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry it was so long. I see that some people had to go because their phone died. Man, popular. People being popular. Anyways, let's hop over into the webcam. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. We are all done here. We did some practice stuff, fooled around. Thanks for watching as always, and happy Friday. We're getting close to Christmas, so that should be exciting for everyone traveling and starting to get ready for the holidays, which is great. And I'm excited for the new year and what that's going to bring. Hopefully we'll get this show a little bit more dialed in where we're not doing so many weird projects, and pretty much anything that I have laying around, I'm like, well, we'll throw that together and see if that works. But I've really been wanting to work on this project for a little bit, so I'm glad that I failed at it tonight or succeeded at figuring out what was missing. But that's going to be it for this one. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next Friday, and for something maybe new, maybe the same, just depending on what the week looks like. Anyways, have a great night, everyone, and happy Friday. Peace.